Now it's 6 new information after weather-related death here in San Diego with more rain on the way.
Everything was flooded. It was insane.
A look at the mess this storm has left behind across our state. Plus, how to recycle your Christmas tree.
You're watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
We're going to begin this hour with a weather impact alert. More rain is on the way to San Diego. Right now, we are getting a live look. Look at this. Wow. This is a large tree. You see those roots there and how tall that trunk of the tree is. This large tree fell in a Cardiff neighborhood over the Christmas holiday.
And this is over on Oxford Avenue. As you can see, it's still there. And it's not clear when crews plan to remove it. But of course, we'll keep you updated throughout the morning with that situation. Wow. Thank you so much for joining us at 6 a.m. on this day after Christmas. I'm Vanessa Paz.
And I'm Netta Irampour, and hopefully you had a chance to get outside during the day yesterday. It was so gorgeous. Things are changing, but for now, look at this beautiful view. Here we are looking from Mount Soledad towards the south, and you see the hills of TJ up in the top of your screen right there, downtown San Diego in the center. Pretty clear conditions, just a few high clouds. So it's overall looking like a gorgeous start to the day. Sunrise at 6:49. And here's what we can expect. We are watching for some more rain coming towards San Diego. A lot of this is just hunkered over LA, San Bernardino counties. I mean, you feel for them when we see the multiple inches of rain that they got. It's still not over. But for us in San Diego, by around noon or so, that's when a lot of that moisture is coming our way. We'll time it out for you in just a few minutes. For now, one person has already died as a result of the weather this week.
Yeah, a large tree branch fell on top of a man in City Heights. CBS 8's Chris Grove live in downtown with what the family of the victim is saying this morning. Hey, Chris.
Yeah, tragedy. Again, this family still gripping with what happened in a moment's notice. Again, something that nobody was expecting. They've identified him as Roberto Luis, and according to San Diego Fire Rescue, this is something that happened Wednesday morning around the time that we were experiencing a lot of wind and rain there. This large tree branch suddenly split off and fell on the man. Now, this happened around on Marlborough Avenue and Whiteman Street. Again, this is happening around 11 a.m. Luis has been described by family members as a grandfather, as someone who was, again, a beloved figure within the family. The family, though, believes this tragedy could have been prevented and is actually sharing the story, hoping to have accountability and change. They say that they have notified the city about what they feel is this troubled tree, that something like this could happen. We did speak with them, with one family member in particular who did not want to show their face, but said this to us off camera. Take a listen.
Complaining to the city about this tree. We've been complaining about the city. It's been, they've been living here more than 5 years, and we've been complaining about the tree. Nothing was ever done, so I feel like San Diego failed. They failed.
Now, we reached out to the city of San Diego, and in a statement, they said, quote, "Our thoughts are with the family, friends, and neighbors and first responders impacted by this sudden loss of life. City crews have performed maintenance on this specific tree in question in January of 2024 as a proactive measure to trim branches, and the tree presented no concerns or defects at that time. The city doesn't have a record of any maintenance requests for this specific tree." Obviously, a very emotional tragedy that unfurled there on Wednesday. But with more rain, more weather here in the forecast here, despite how severe it may be, just a good reminder for everyone to be careful if you step outside, if you don't need to go outside, especially if we're experiencing any wind and or rain, to not do that, but also be mindful of downed power lines, but also tree branches and trees in your area as well, too. Vanessa, Netta.
Really good tips there. Thank you so much, Chris. Well, the weather has left a mess all across California. The storm has set records in some areas and is keeping many under evacuation orders.
Let's start in Sacramento. Excuse me. That's where a sheriff deputy was killed in a weather-related crash. Reed Binion now with the latest.
Everything was flooded. It was insane.
Californians reeling from another day of brutal, deadly weather. Torrential rain triggering floodwaters that made roads treacherous and in many cases impassable. Thunderstorms and punishing winds causing damage across the state. In other areas, feet of snow also impacting travel. In Wrightwood, northeast of Los Angeles, authorities issued an evacuation warning Thursday due to mud and debris flows.
We're approaching 10 inches for the Wrightwood area. Widespread flooding throughout the community.
Emergency crews pulling people from flooded cars and homes.
A number of rescues were performed throughout the day. Water rescues from vehicles traveling onto flooded roadways. We had people that were trapped in their houses.
The massive scope of the flooding still visible hours after the water receded. Cars and homes encased in silt, mud, and sand the floodwaters left behind. Some homes buried nearly up to the windows and rafters. Elsewhere in the state, authorities say a Sacramento sheriff's deputy was killed after crashing on a wet roadway while driving to work.
Fortunately, in this line of work, we deal a lot with, the dangers in the line of duty. This is a little more unique because it's one of those freak accidents simply on his way to work.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
This morning, county officials are reminding you to stay out of the water. They've issued a general rain advisory for all coastal beaches and bays. You can see the yellow and the red dots on the map right there. The rain can carry bacteria and pollutants into the ocean, so that means higher levels where you see the red. Of course, after rain, we see a lot of runoff. You are urged to avoid swimming or surfing for 72 hours after it rains. And as always, you can find an extended weather forecast on our CBS 8 app. If you don't have it on your phone, it's a pretty handy tool. You can stream it now for free.
Today is expected to be busy out on the roadways as people head home after Christmas. AAA says most of the day could be very bad for traffic. They say the worst travel times between 11 a.m. and 8 a.m. So you're urged to hit the roads early. And this morning, the average gas price in San Diego County is $4.49 for a gallon of regular. That's according to AAA. We were paying about the same, $4.48 at the same time last year. Meanwhile, when it comes to flying, the San Diego International Airport expects Sunday to be busy. You're encouraged to check your flight status before you leave the house and arrive early. The airport is also reminding you there is a new road that takes westbound drivers off North Harbor Drive to those terminals. And Christmas is over. Starting today, you can recycle your tree. The city of San Diego will have 16 drop-off locations through January 16th. But remember to remove all ornaments, lights, and tree stands. However, they do accept flocked trees with fake snow. Once you drop off your tree, machinery then breaks it apart and mixes it together to be turned into compost or mulch, which is great. It keeps everything out of our landfills. The city says it's an eco-friendly way to dispose of your tree as opposed to tossing it out with the trash. You can also recycle your tree in your green waste bin, but keep in mind it needs to fit entirely inside the bin, so you may have to cut it.
Yeah, every year we see trees just out on the curb, and
I agree, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, you guys got to cut it down. Like sometimes
fit it in there.
Yeah, unfortunately, they'll just like skip over your house if you don't have it kind of just tucked in
your neighbors wouldn't appreciate that.
Exactly.
Yeah. But there are great spots you can go to take that tree. I always go to Kate Sessions. They have piles of tree there, and it smells good too. So yeah, you can dispose of it the right way here in town. After that rain we saw on Wednesday, Christmas Eve, what a gorgeous Christmas day we got. But I do want to show you some of the two-day rainfall totals. So from Wednesday into basically early Thursday, here are the numbers. 2.8 inches at Palomar, 0.8 of an inch for Ramona, 0.7 Santee, Chula Vista, 0.6 downtown got a ½ inch. So it looks like, yeah, Palomar got a lot. Lake Quimaca, Mountain Laguna, yeah, our mountains got dumped on. And it was an interesting system, right? We got downpour, heavy downpour from about noon to 6 p.m. or so on Christmas Eve. And then things really tapered off. And now we're left with this gorgeous morning. Look at that. Clear conditions. We had blue skies all day yesterday. This morning, now a nice yellow glow. But yes, this is we are going to start to see some more rain this afternoon. So it's not over. I want to show you the wider view so you can see that green on the screen, and that is going to eventually trickle its way further south. All these systems we see time and time again, they break apart as they get down into San Diego. So you see the topography right there, that hook. That typically is why these systems kind of stall, and then by the time they get to us, they just wither away, and we get maybe 0.2, 0.3. That's what we're expecting to see for this next round. This is our forecast, futurecast, I should say. So by about noon, you might get a little trickle in North County, but it looks like mainly 1, 2 o'clock for Oceanside. We'll sweep through, see more rain coming into about 5, 6 o'clock. And then overnight tonight, still a few remnants. It will be a fairly wet evening, but then by tomorrow morning, just a trickle of drizzle. That's all that's left. And then your weekend should be fairly dry. I would say Saturday morning, don't rule out the chance that you might get hit with a few raindrops, but that's kind of it. After that, you'll be impressed by the temperatures that we're about to experience, a significant warm up heading into the new year. We'll talk about that in a moment, but for now, look at traffic. No icons other than this right here. Looks like no slowdowns either. People are taking it easy on this Friday morning, as you should. Hopefully it's been a nice chill morning for you. 8 westbound at 163 northbound. Looks like it's blocked right there, that exit ramp. So just a heads up, right near Camino de la Reina. So I suspect that might be just some water on the roads, but for now, not quite sure what that event is, but just know that that exit ramp is blocked. Let's check out the border wait times. Are people stuck at the port of entries? San Ysidro, it'll take just 45 minutes. Otay Mesa, a lot quicker even at 15 minutes. That's all it's going to take this morning. So yeah, it looks like there are a lot of people who are maybe hunkering down at home. Vanessa.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Netta. Well, make sure that you're staying safe on the roads. Turn your headlights on if it's actively raining, and do not slam on your brakes. I know it's tempting if you start to hydroplane. You simply let go of the gas and keep the car straight. And before leaving, make sure that your tires have adequate tread. And of course, slow down and leave more room between you and the other cars. All right, we'll still ahead, a stabbing and chemical attack at a factory in Japan. Plus, what we're learning about a U.S. strike against the Islamic State in Nigeria. And Affordable Care Act subsidies are about to expire. We hear from one enrollee about that impact.